and I looked up because I heard footsteps coming by my office, and it was, one of the partners, and he was like 80 years old, and he wasn't in great health, and he was still there at 8:30 at night.
Before the billions.
Oh no, the lead attorney. I just wanted to ask you a question. I'm a black
Yeah.
man myself, just starting his career a couple years in, and I don't seek to work in a corporate environment, forever. At some point, I will like to transition to something more. How did you know? And this is a question for you. How did you know? Where was your crossover point? Realizing that, hey, I don't want to do this attorney thing anymore. And what are the steps that you've taken? Because I'm sure you was intentional in your steps that allows you to reach that point in your life where you felt comfortable saying, hey, I can retire from, legal career that I've been dedicating 20 years and 7 years of education, and now I can transition to something else.
Yeah. How old are you? First year in corporate?
25.
25. Okay. Yeah, let me answer your question. It's a great question. First of all, I was traumatized as a young attorney just getting out of law school. I was working at this firm downtown here in Atlanta, and it was like 8:30 at night. And when you just graduate from law school, you don't know anything. So you're doing a lot of grunt work, and you're learning. You're learning what they should have taught you in law school in the first place. And it was like 8:30 at night, and I looked up because I heard footsteps coming by my office, and it was, one of the partners, and he was like 80 years old, and he wasn't in great health, and he was still there at 8:30 at night. And I was like, and I was like 25 at the time. I was your age. And I was like, I never want that to be me, ever, right? Now, there are tons of attorneys like that. There are tons of Americans who have so much debt that they will never even, it doesn't, what I came to realize, what I came to see is that, it really doesn't matter how much money you make in a certain sense. You can always make yourself a slave if your debt is high. And the reason I'm able to do what I'm doing, just quitting, is because of a few things that happened to me that are completely unrelated to YouTube or to law, to be honest. One of the things that allowed me to, quit whenever I want is the fact that I don't have any children. If you have children, first gen corporate, it's going to be so much more difficult for you to forge your own destiny. Your destiny is going to be tied in the form of an obligation to your children, which can be a great thing, and it's certainly what your children deserve. I mean, your children didn't ask to be born. If you do not have children, you can look up at 35 or 36 and be like, well, that's one thing. Let me say that. So no children is huge. And if you want freedom, because it sounds like what you're asking me is about freedom, to do what you want to do in the workplace, to quit, just to walk off or retire, walk into the sunset whenever you want. You will reach that freedom so much quicker if you don't have any children. Am I telling you not to have children? Hell no, right? Children have their own benefits. There are a lot of people who love their children and cannot imagine themselves without children. Now, they are making a trade, their children for their freedom, but that is a trade that they are willing to do every day of the week. So I'm not telling you what you should do. I'm just answering your question about how I was able to do what I do. If you don't have any children, that is going to save you a tremendous amount of money. So what's going to happen is that when you're young, you're going to acquire debt, but because you don't have any money or any children, the lack of you having children is going to free up money. And then you are going to be able to apply that money to the debt that you have in an extremely rapid rate. And so what's going to happen is you're going to look up and you're going to be 35 years old, or you deal with computers. So, I mean, this could happen to you when you're 31. You're going to look up and you don't have any kids and you don't have any debt. You got a mortgage. you got a mortgage and maybe you got a rental property, maybe you're losing $100 or $200 on that. But, you got your BMW, right? You got a little girlfriend, but you don't have any kids and you don't have any debt. Maybe you put $3,000 on a credit card, but you pay it off every month. So you don't have any debt. And you can look up first generation and like, okay, I don't have any debt now. Now, let's say you're like Before the Billions and you're making 160 a year. So let's say you work for 2 years and now you've saved $200,000. So you're 35, you have no debt, and you have $200,000 in the bank and no kids. And you're like, I'm free, right? You can retire. I mean, retire is a weird word because everybody thinks when you say retire that you're going on a beach or something like that. No. Retire could be, working on an app or working on a program or starting your own business. It'd be starting a YouTube channel. First Gen, let me tell you something, man. Like, I'm making 25. If you lump together all of the revenue streams that I'm getting from this YouTube stuff, it's easily 25, 30 grand a month. I can't spend that. I don't have any kids. I don't have a wife. Right? It's like I retired, but I'm still can't spend the money that I'm getting. Why? Because I don't have any kids. If you've got kids, you can spend 20 grand. I mean, kids always need college funds, right? Of course, they need shoes and they need to eat. They need the car. They need braces, health insurance. But at the end of the day, you can always save for college fund. The kids represent a hole that is insatiable, right? Especially if you have multiple kids. Now, first gen corporate, I don't have a wife either. A wife can spend your money, right? Just because two people can spend money at a faster rate than one. But my lifestyle, and I'm a simple guy. Guys are usually simple. You do have the people who are like Anton Daniels, and they will absolutely get the Versace slippers and the Versace robe, right? But I'm a simple man. So if you are a simple man and you don't have any debt and you don't have any kids, you can do what you want in life. Now, there's a trade-off, of course, because having a wife can be great. Having kids can be great. I had a wife for 10 years. There were great moments. But that's how you that's how you get where I'm at. I'm not telling you that this is the best way. I think your question was you asking me how I got here, and that's how I got here. I got here with a job that paid me more than $7.50 an hour. It's a profession. I had a profession. I spent money wisely. I didn't have any kids. I'm not paying any alimony. I don't have any debt. No debt, no kids. Relatively high-paying job. 5 years. That's the recipe. 5 years, no debt, no kids, no alimony. You put those 4 things together, you're free.
This is me. This is who I was before the billions. Before I made the money.